What is going on, everybody? It is your boy, man. Back out with another review, and today we are going to be reviewing the newest action slash superhero movie, Novocaine. But before we get into actual beginning of the video, what's up, guys? Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel, because number one, it's absolutely free. Number two, also maybe help with YouTube algorithm recommended to more people, and maybe they could join the action. And do feel free to comment your thoughts on Novocaine down below. But with that being said, guys, let's get right into before we get right into let's give a quick plot synopsis of the movie, shall we? So transition and choose.
When the girl of his dreams gets kidnapped, a man turns his inability to feel pain into an unexpected advantage as he fights a bunch of thugs to get her back.
Alright, so going into Novocaine was one of my most anticipated movies of the year. It almost got in the top 5. This and Sinners almost got in the top 5. If I went back in time, I probably would put them in the put this in or Sinners in the top 5, and replace Wolfman. But was very excited for this. And it looked like a very grounded kind of action movie, which I kind of like more of those nowadays. So and also Jack Quaid had a great start to the year with Companion, which before watching this, well, spoiler alert for my actual review, before watching this, that was my favorite movie of the year. And with that being said, let's just get into the actual review itself, shall we? Alright, so starting off with the grounded aspects in the movie, which I talked about before this, that hooked me. So, this is very reminiscent of movies such as
Kick-Ass, Deadpool, and some little vibes of Nobody as well. And it's not as big scale as most MCU movies nowadays.
Yeah, I like when we get some of those grounded type superhero adjacent movies nowadays. Also, another thing is all the performances in here I think were good, especially Jack Quaid as Novocaine in here. He plays like such a sympathetic guy, and he's very charming in the role where you can't help but root for him because he's not meaning to kill people. It's just he wants to get his girl, and that's it. And also all the surrounding cast I thought did pretty good too. Forgive me, I don't know the main lead actress's name that plays his love interest, but she did really good. And Jacob Batalon has a pretty fun little side role in here. So, next thing I have to say is the action scenes. The action scenes in here were awesome. It would have probably been even more awesome if they didn't give away like the majority of the action scenes, except for the like final act of the movie in the trailers, but I still thought the action scenes were awesome, and very well choreographed, and it was even more better because the whole entire plot of Novocaine not having the ability to feel pain. So I thought those were awesome. This was not shown in the trailers. The final act of the movie as well, I thought was really, really good as well. There is some very
things done with the actual gimmick of him not feeling pain in the final act that had me squirming a little bit, but also thinking it was so awesome at the same time. Definitely the most enjoyable part of the movie for me.
Yeah, overall, I'm kind of glad they didn't show that in the trailers, and it kind of makes sense why they showed the other action scenes in the trailer. Another thing is the self-awareness. Movies like these with these lower budget slash grounded superhero movies, they are mostly very self-aware how ridiculous they are, like as I mentioned before with Kick-Ass and Deadpool, and I think this very much as well does that, which it's always cool to see a movie do that with how acknowledging how ridiculous and over the top it is. So thought that was pretty fun. The final positive in here I have is the romance and comedic elements. I thought the romance aspect was really good, and I think I think this will be a good date movie if you have a significant other, and you guys want to go see a movie. This would be, I think, a really really good choice. And the comedic elements had a whole lot of like dark moments that I still thought were really really funny. So, all right, so yeah, that's the good done. Now let's move on to the mixed aspects of the film, which are the aspects I'm 50-50 on. And the two mixed aspects I have, so we'll start off with the one that I already talked about briefly, is that the trailers. As I said before, the trailers kind of gave away all the big action sequences in the movie, except for the final act, which I think the final act out of all the action sequences was definitely the most like shocking action sequences with the stuff they do, where he can't feel pain, obviously. So, but then again, I think if I hadn't watched the trailer and just watched the action sequences in the theater, I would have probably been even more enjoying of the movie if I hadn't seen them in the trailers. And also another mixed aspect too is the eventual reveal later on in the movie. So no spoilers here, but there is an eventual reveal, which I from the trailers I was going, yeah, that's pretty much I feel like where they're gonna go. But and it didn't help things that I actually got spoiled in one of the comment sections for the video about for comment sections of one of the trailers for this that kind of got on my nerves a little bit, but it kind of pulls, I wouldn't say like another twist, but it kind of goes in a different direction than you're expecting. So I think overall that made the twist like a little bit better. All right, now that is the mix done, and we have the bad, which I only have one, and that's the villains in here, where you certainly want them
to lose, but they don't really have enough to stand out about them to make them stand out as major villains. But I do think overall there were some things done in the final act with the villain that I thought was decent.
And you do have Jack Nicholson's son playing the main villain, so I wish, even though it is suiting for a movie like this that is a little lesser on the big scale, I just wish they made a little bit more of the villains to stand out, if that but anyways, that is just my thoughts on Novocaine. Now with that being said, let's bring out the toxic meter, and I will give this is tough for me. It's an A, but okay, it's not toxic, and do I say toxic goodness too? Not toxic and toxic goodness. I think it fits right around that range. And as of right now, this is my favorite movie of the year. And if you love action movies, I think this is definitely one to see. But with that being said, as I said before, that's just my thoughts on Novocaine. Be sure to let me know your thoughts on it down below. But with that being said, guys, I'll see y'all next one, everybody.